Welcome back to Making Money Matter, ladies and gentlemen. Many of you out there said, "Where's Tony?" And I kept saying to you all, he's coming to the Gold Coast Gold Conference. Don't worry, you can meet him in person, you can shake his hand, you can chew his ear off, you can carry on. And then, of course, what happened? Cyclone Alfred. So Cyclone Alfred decided to make his appearance. And not only that, he decided to give a real whack to the QT Hotel. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do apologize. And due to that, I'm going to do the Zoom call with Tony today, which is the day after St. Patrick's Day and a few days after we were meant to hold Gold Coast Gold. But all is not lost. Tony and I are going to have a chat today, and the newly revised dates for Gold Coast Gold will be the 15th and the 16th of April back at QT once they have fixed up all the damage from the storm. And look, my heart goes out to a lot of the Gold Coasters out up here. Some people I know were out without power for 11 days. Some people had real damage to their homes. I was fine. Tony was clearly fine because he was over in Perth, where it never bloody rains over there. But where I live in Main Beach, massive, massive destruction of the beaches. And if you check out my Instagram, it's called That Gold Lady. I did a number of lives where you can actually see just how damaged the beaches were, and it was quite something to go through, Tony. But I wanted to get you back on because I've been getting a lot of people saying, "Get Tony back on, get the truth bomb back on." So I'm sorry you can't make it in April, but I do understand you've got other things happening at that time. But I'm wearing the gold jacket today because all those naysayers out there that said gold is going to pull back and it's going to go to 1800 and blah, blah, blah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, late last week we touched 3,000 and now we are clearly in the 3,000. That's US dollar camp. The Australian dollar has strengthened a little bit, but it still means that the Australian dollar gold price is about $4,800. And I can see a lot of it going a little bit stronger from here. And the euphoria has really, I guess, hitting fever pitch because this rally has pushed the gold price up about 14% just this year alone in 2025. And I think it's about 40% over the 43% over the past 12 months. Now, a lot of people, Tony, out there are saying the gold price is, it couldn't possibly go any further. But when you've got governments around the world continuing to print currency, it's not the price of gold going up, ladies and gentlemen. It's the devaluation of your currency. That's what you need to understand. Long introduction, Tony. Thanks for being patient. Good to have you back. But what are you seeing out there in the markets? You're an advisor for Alto Capital over there in Perth.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Well, firstly, spewing about the conference.
Yeah, me too. I'm spewing you're not going to be here.
Well, I was set. My dog's in the kennel. My wife is in Hungary, and I was going to go and stay at Star and get taken to some steakhouses. Maybe I play blackjack once or twice a year. I was looking forward to a bit of that. I was looking forward to getting amongst it, getting the vibe. But yeah, I was hopeful right till the last minute. And it was funny when you rang me to say that the hotel had been damaged. I was in the meat department trying to calculate how much food I needed for 2 days because I was on my way. But I was bitterly disappointed that it didn't happen. But anyway,
you and by the way, mate, you and me both, because I got the call from the hotel on the Sunday with the event starting on the Thursday. And all I said to the girl on the phone was, I said, I don't care what you've got to do. I'll come in with a mop. We have to have this event. It's on Thursday. It's in 4 days. Yeah. And I said, find the owners, do whatever you have to do. And then I got an email on the Monday listing everything that had happened to the hotel. I still didn't believe them, Tony. So I drove down there and they had taped it all off. And I snuck around and had a look. There was massive damage to the hotel. So I then, luckily though, Tony, I almost moved it to the Hilton Hotel in Surfers Paradise. I was rushing around like a mad thing trying to make it still happen. nearly moved it to the Hilton. Thank God I didn't, because guess what happened on the Thursday, which would have been the day we had our event? There was a fire at the Hilton in Surfers Paradise. Can you imagine? I think I even said to you, I'm going to
Yeah.
move it to the Hilton if
Oh,
I possibly can. And then I went back to you and said it's not going to happen. But thank God there was a fire. Everyone was evacuated on the Thursday night.
yeah. No, just an in joke with my wife is it's just a rotten streak of luck.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing still, gold 3,000, silver's doing its thing. There's just no excitement yet, really, in the gold juniors. So they've lagged big time. They hasn't been any massive rallies. We had a few little spikes on exploration results, but I can understand why speculators are getting a bit impatient because the stocks simply haven't moved.
But they shouldn't be getting impatient. Well, first of all, they shouldn't be getting impatient because this is the time when, if you do your homework, and if you don't do your homework, talk to Tony and become his client. But this is the time when, and not financial advice, but be contrarian. When nobody is looking, that's when opportunity comes along. And you called it for Spartan back in May the year before last when it was trading at 13 cents. I remember I was with you at the Reed corporate event at the Royal Pines here on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
You said, this is a stock I really like. I'd met Simon Lawson for the first time. And now look where we are today.
Well, yeah, that for mine, I saw it as a bit of a Dominion lookalike. I don't want to go into too much detail why it felt like that. I got people in at 11 cents and it peaked at $1.79. So it's a genuine 16 bagger that all happened within 2 years. But they're rare. I actually rang one of my loveliest clients yesterday and she was beside herself. She didn't really understand the weight of the phone call. It's like, well, saying, look, congratulations, you've won.
Yeah.
And now it's all about getting her psychologically set to let go of that stock. And she
Okay.
says, well, why not become part of Ramilius? I mean, you've got to work out where you want to be because Ramilius put out their mine plan and disappointed and got absolutely poleaxed.
Yeah.
So, and I was actually thinking about it today. My relationship with Ramilius goes back to probably 2003. That's 22 years.
My Lord.
So that's both my failed marriages plus all my years of child support and other failed stuff. So, and I've done interviews where I've said holding a mining stock is like an episode of Married at First Sight on steroids because that's what it is. See, we've been there 22 years in Ramilius at 50 bagged. It's still been arguably the most successful stock I've ever been in. The thing 50 bagged from about 2007.
Wow.
Then fell all the way back to 4.6 cents and 50 bagged again.
Wow.
So that's 20. I've got 22 years of history with Ramilius. They've done everything right up until that announcement. Now, Simon Lawson, oh, what a job he's done. I mean, he got up, he spoke with authority. And what I've noticed about speculation is I go back to the castle, Kerry. It's all about the vibe.
Yeah.
and it is because sometimes it can be the right stock recommendation at the wrong time for someone. And if I've pissed someone off putting them in a stock that hasn't gone up, they're not going to be open to my new idea. Spartan was a new idea at the time, but not everyone was open to it because we were down on a lot of other stuff.
Right.
And look, honestly, it's been a hideous 3 years, but sometimes people are in the right place at the right time. And those that got in have done well, and now it's a chance to take it. But it's just so much about how you are feeling on a certain day. I've learned over 27 years that it's all about psychology. It's all about talking to clients, thinking, are they going to be receptive to this idea? And I have had a new idea recently, which I will mention here. But again, I've had to use a biotech stock to show the upside case when in fact it's a mining stock. So look, I'm a salesman. I've got to sell the dream.
Right.
That's it. But clients, if you're not in the right mood, you don't want to hear a new idea. If you're not making money elsewhere, you don't want a new idea. The ideal thing is to ring someone up and say, look, let's take a windfall profit on this, but I've got this other idea.
Right.
So it's I've got a 27-year database, a mental database of fear, greed, and stupidity. And based on the amount of phone conversations I have, I'd have a pretty impressive database. And I can almost predict the question when I see a client's name pop up on my phone. But those that bought Spartan, right place, right time, so they delivered a 16-bagger. Now the key is, even though they've got 16, let's just look for a 5-bagger. And
okay, so but what you're saying is Spartan are being taken over by Ramelius. You don't have to stay in the stock and take the deal. You can just say, thank you very much. I've made my profit, if you like. And the hardest thing for people to do is to walk away because they think, oh no, it might go to $2 or $3 or $4.
Well, that's exactly right. I've got a personal $1 million lesson.
Me too.
Yeah, but I guess in a way, would it have changed me if I took that $1 million? I probably would have been 30 kilos heavier with an alcohol drug habit and an ego. So it obviously, I didn't take it. But now it's a good test case for clients because my clients are great non-sellers and they find it hard to let go of something even when it's multiplied.
Right.
And we are the minority. Most in this junior mining sector or speculation will just want a pip. They'll just trade for pips. They're not going to hold anything. But there's no shame in taking a multi-bagger, putting a bit away for the ATO and looking for the next one. And it's my job to come up with the next one. And I do have some stocks, really, for where we are with the gold and silver price. They've done jack shit on the scoreboard.
That's a technical term, ladies and gentlemen, jack shit. Just letting you know.
It's technical because we're in a low share price environment and we have been trapped in a low share price environment for over 3 years now. So my aim, I would have got up when I was chairing a session, I would have just talked about my favorite stocks. And I think that I can deliver as much technical mumbo jumbo, but why not just give people a list of stocks that I'm looking at, a couple of brief reasons why, and what might happen. But I think I was just as nervous buying Spartan it was called Gascoigne then at 11 cents as I was buying Northern Star at 5 cents or Ramelius for 6 cents for clients. You always feel nervous with a new idea. You don't know how well it's going to go.
Yeah.
And sometimes, Spartan took less than 2 years. Some of our other stocks are going to take a lot longer, and some of them, despite their best efforts, aren't going to make it. So you do have to have a portfolio approach. But with my clients, we are top heavy. A few stocks, which I'm happy to say are higher quality junior mining stocks with growth potential that, all things being equal, should multi-bag if they're allowed to get into production. Or now we've got M&A. Hopefully they don't get taken out. I know it's a quick exit and it's a relief, but I want to see some of these get into production. So did you want to hear about my favorite stocks, guys?
I'm sitting back and I'm saying, well, what do you want to hear? You want to hear? Oh, you don't want to hear from me? Go for it, Tony. I'm going to sit back and listen for one.
I think we took out the bulk of a US fund in Saturn at 18 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Last I looked, they were comfortably in the mid-20s, 2 million ounces, heap leach. I think they've got to be a corporate target for someone if they can get into production. But 2 million ounces, possibly 3 if they really drill this thing out, capped in the 70s. Great upside, quality, just one of the best junior gold stocks on the market. But as I said, as I'll say to viewers, we got the bulk of our stock at 18 cents when that fund had their tantrum. So you're not buying right at the bottom. I was talking to my the client I think who could end up my most successful, and he was saying if I just had to buy one stock, it would be Red Metal, 11 cents. I couldn't agree with him anymore on that because when you look at holding 44% of Maronan Metals, the Cybella 4.795 billion tons of rare earths near Mount Isa, and a suite of some really exciting drilling projects like GT9, what they've got at Pardue and Yarrie. When you take away their holding and their cash, they're not that far above shell value. And that, to me, that's just incredible value. And many will say, oh, look, but Red Metal's been around since 2003, which it has, and it's done bugger all. But a lot of explorers are cyclical. And by that, Kerry, cyclical means that the stock has traded between 3 cents and I remember at one point when I was involved, it was in the low 50s. So you can trade 5, 6, 700% rallies if you buy it at the right time, because many stocks don't follow through. So I guess that was a great statement, and I agree. If you had to buy one junior mining stock, that would be it, because it's got everything. And I think that Red Metal are going to obviously benefit for the brilliant work that Richard Carlton's doing at Maronan.
Yeah, he is.
He was on the list to present. They're doing everything right. They're now going for that exploration.
They're still coming. They're still coming to present on the.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
so
great.
for those of you out there, Red Metal will not be there, but Maronan
yeah,
will be there.
So arguably one of Australia's best undeveloped silver deposits, Cloncurry. They're moving. They're making all the right moves, going for all the licensing, going through all the technical stuff to get that project to mine ready. Now they've even put in their own presentations. They're a bit of a corporate target. I hope not. I hope that they can add more value before someone maybe has a crack. But to me, that just looks like a great situation. Talisman's been up and down a bit. I managed to catch up with Kerry Hermanis recently. They've got that iron ore royalty from MinRes, which has been a bit of a basket case with all the publicity and what's been going on there. But they're basically chasing elephants. They're drilling for IOCG systems in South Australia. Mabel Creek, this is high risk, high reward. It's as high risk as it gets, but no one's going to find another prominent hill, another Carapatina without looking. And they've got some stuff in New South Wales. They're trading in the mid-teens, great history, great management, and Kerry Hermanis owns about 36 million shares. He's, for those that don't know, he's the one that took Jubilee Mines to about a $3.1 billion takeover, and he's come out of retirement to do it all again. Everest Metals is another one, gold project in WA called Revere, another gold project at Mount Dimer, plus rubidium, which is that infamous IUM. So I like the look of them. I sat through a webinar today with a company that looks very exciting. And more recently, I've been, a new idea of mine is Great Southern Mining. Code is Golf Sierra November. An interesting little stock. It's run by Matthew Keane. I used to work with Matt at Argonaut. He was a resource analyst. Yeah, he's great. He's great. The chairman is John Turpu. John was behind Conquest, which eventually folded to become Evolution Mining. they're playing the Laverton game of mines, drilling around that area close to mills. But the real cheesecake, which is one of the foods I miss on the carnivore diet, is these two ginormous IP targets they've got in northern Queensland in joint venture with Goldfields at Edinburgh Park. So these are huge targets. One is under a litho cap, and the other one, yeah. So these things are sticking out.
What's a litho cap, Tony?
I think off the top of my head, I don't think my response would justify exactly what a litho cap is. So I'd suggest use AI or go to Google.
Okay.
So it's all to do with fluids and hot fluids, and yeah, I unfortunately I didn't come up with
it's a type of alteration system. So it's got advanced argillic and alteration, sulfate alteration. So it's basically steam heated blanket. So it sits above, I guess, the mineralization. So it can be hidden, I guess. A litho cap means it's hidden and maybe people have walked past it in the past.
Well, there's one example of one in, I think it's in Colombia, and it's got nothing to do with cocaine or anything. But anyway, so to me, those targets, you've got to be a part of that. I just like the way that company's run. I think Matt does an excellent job.
What's the code for Great Southern again?
Golf Sierra November.
GSN.
Not GSN.
Okay.
Yeah. Or in Wheel of Fortune language, a G for Gary, S for Sam, N for Nelly. But, I prefer to use phonetics, back to my whole police days. But yeah, we've been buying
and by the way, just because I get this all the time after we finish, Saturn Metals is STN, Red Metal is RDM, and Maronan is MMA.
Yeah, mixed martial arts. And Talisman is T for Tom, L for Larry, M for Mike. Everest is E for Ernie, M for Mike, C for Charlie. Yeah, I noticed that in the comments that people struggle with the stocks we mentioned.
Yeah. So that's why I just want to go over them again. And look, I'll put them when I get a chance, I'll put them in the comments below as well.
Yeah, but Great Southern, got some small gold resources. If one of those, if there's something under the steam cap, as you like to call it, these things go to the moon. And I think we're probably due for a BMF, which is B for Bob, M for Mike, F for Foxtrot discovery. And I don't want no one needs to look up what that means, Kerry. And when you get a BMF discovery, often you get neurology. So anyone close to that goes up as well. Yeah. And then you get FOMO. And that's what's missing from this junior gold and silver market is FOMO. My new client business has slowed right up. I've just got people only care when they start to make money.
Correct.
But all I can do is buy the best junior resource stocks and wait. And that's what we've done. So chuck them on your watch list. And hopefully we'll be here talking about another Spartan.
Let me ask you this. You want to do it? You and I have had bets in the past, and I think I lost the last one. Are you coming across to the Sydney conference in October? You don't know yet?
Yeah, well, here's the interesting one. I've got a flight credit and perhaps some hotel credit, but I've also made it through the final audition to go on the Chase Australia.
Oh, that's hilarious! Oh my God.
Yeah, if by chance I get a phone call, I'm going to use my credits on that.
Is that filmed in Sydney or Melbourne?
Yeah, it's filmed in Sydney.
Ah. So can you imagine, ladies and can you imagine Tony on the I don't know if anyone's seen the Chase on this in our community.
Of course I have.
Ask the question, he's going to know the answer. I really hope you get through. I feel like I need to write to them and say, put Tony Locantro on. That'd be hilarious. Well,
as long as they don't ask what's a litho cap, Kerry, because I couldn't explain the fluids. I couldn't.
Oh,
But
I've got a great idea. They can film it at the Australian Gold Conference. We do the chase in the Australian Gold. No, bad idea. Bad idea.
actually, what are those dates again for the one in Sydney?
13th to the 15th of October at Crown in Sydney.
At Crown, yeah.
Back at Crown.
Yeah, no, and it's as I said, it's all about the vibe, and people should get to these conferences because all you have to do is walk away with one out and out winner, and you're set.
Well, Tony, my frustration at the moment, and we've got over 250 people coming to the Gold Coast Gold Conference,
Yeah.
but we should have 1,000. Why? And why do I say that? Why am I passionate about this? Most people I speak to have absolutely no idea, not just about mining stocks. They don't even realize that gold is money and silver is money and everything else is credit. And I can show them data going back 20 years. We've got someone talking about why gold, because Australians are obsessed with property.
Mm.
But according to Daniel Want, who is going to be speaking at the event, he's got data that follows where the currency goes. And he says gold, physical gold, will outperform property in Australia over the coming decade. And he's going to show you. So my thing is, if you're not educated, you're just going to be sitting in that terrible situation where you're either living paycheck to paycheck or you're struggling. And I don't want you all to struggle. I want you to understand that there's going to be, I really truly believe this, a great wealth transfer. And if you don't understand what's happening with precious metals in the coming, like from now, it's starting, the gold bull market has started, precious metals is on the way up, you're doing yourself and your family a disservice. Comments on that, Tony?
I couldn't agree more, but people just generally just want to be told what to do, and they want things to work out without any effort. And this, in what we do, investing in mining, junior mining stocks at the bottom, or hopefully, is tough, is hard work, because it's like a volatile relationship. It is really tough, and I just feel so happy for some of the clients. This, back to Spartan from 11 cents to where mid 170s. It's been a magic carpet ride if ever there was one.
Yeah, 100%. And going back to that, Tony, you said it before. You said you think that people should take the profits, because I remember, ladies and gentlemen, Tony actually said to me on a certain lithium stock a little while ago that hit $2, and he said to me, take the money off the table. And I went, no. This is what, 3 years ago, Tony? I think it was about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I said, no. It's a $5 stock every day of the week. And Tony went, well, there's no harm in taking a profit. Did I listen? No, I didn't. I took the 75-cent options. I rode it all the way up to $2, $2.20. And I watched it go all the way down to 17 cents. So on paper, I was doing really well there for a moment. But I have never forgotten, Tony.
Yeah.
You advised me at the time. You said, take the money off the table. You never go broke taking a profit. I will never forget that. So,
well, I guess that's a windfall, but it's always fraught with danger to tell someone to sell something you never told them to buy.
Yeah.
Because something might be the world's biggest Fugazi, but the world is full of stupid people, and dumb money can go forever.
True.
And there's just no upside. But the lithium bubble, most of them were a Fugazi. It was just hype. It was like every other bubble ending in IUM.
Yeah.
And that's it. But I've got lots of lessons. I've not taken profits, or I haven't backed myself, because every new idea, just like every TV appearance, every event I stand up and talk at, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I can't help it. I mightn't come across as nervous, but that's just the way it is. No, well,
you're not nervous talking to me though, Tony. We're old mates.
No, this is chilled. That's why I like the unstructured chats we have.
Right.
But anyway, I've given my favourite stocks. People have got conference dates. It's up to you now to put the effort in.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard what Tony said. You got to put the effort in. If you don't want to put the effort in, pick up the phone or send Tony an email to tony@altocapital.com.au.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. hopefully, who knows, I might be quiet for another couple of weeks, but I think we're building for something now, and
100%.
there's going to be a shit ton of news come out, and hopefully someone's going to drill into something, and then we get FOMO makes a comeback, and may the best trader win then, Kerry.
Well, for me, may the best people win.
Yes.
And also may the best company directors win, because that's the thing that I would say to people. You've got to have the right management in place. You can have the best asset in the world, but if it's run by the wrong people, doing the wrong thing by shareholders, then things don't necessarily work out in your favor. So you have to, and that's why the conferences are important, because you can come up. It is much harder it's much easier to work out who somebody really is when you're face to face with them, and you can ask them the questions directly to them. And then you get a feeling, do I want to put my hard-earned wealth into this company? And you ask them the questions. And by the way, there's no dumb questions in this market, none at all. But I think it is important that you understand you've got to get educated, as Tony said. So I want you to come to the Gold Coast Gold Conference. I want you to tell as many people as possible, not for my sake, for your sake. We're going to have bullion dealers there. We're going to have mining companies there. We're going to have other investors there. We're going to have the Shadow Minister for Resources, Susan McDonald, there. It's going to be 2 days where you are going to learn a lot that you will never learn in other places. So again, I can't stress it enough. It's the 15th and 16th of April. The next one isn't till October in Sydney, but this is the time you want to get set. Last word always goes to Tony. 3 bits of advice that you would tell people as we head into what I see as a precious metals bull market, potentially for a few years to come.
I think just remember, we're in a chronically low price share environment that during other gold and silver stock bubbles, stocks have gone 10, 20, 50, 100 times, a bit like lithium, uranium, vanadium, ammonium, all of those. So they all have their runs. Do the research, use use X, go to Hot Copper, get the vibe of the stocks, I think is essential. And just go for it. I think you really have to make the move. I know, don't procrastinate. Just if you're convinced that a company's cheap, just go for it and bide your time. I think the path to failure when you buy a stock in speculation is so clear, it's not funny. And I can understand why the majority fail, because it's all about your emotions, and sometimes it's the right stock, but you're the wrong person. So I just think you've got to stick with it. And when your broker rings up and says you've made $1 million, please just take the fucking money, for God's sake. Because, what do I have to do? Grow my hair back to pull it out? Oh, please, just take it. There's no shame in making $1 million and having it go a bit higher.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you want to find him, go to TonyLocantro.com as well. If you want to be lazy, get Tony to do the work for you. But don't go and abuse him. Things don't always.
I don't care. I don't care. I've had 27 years. If you stick your chin out, it's going to get hit enough. But I've got a few happy people at the moment, and we're all waiting. And as long as you're playing at the top of your mental game, Kerry, and you don't run out of money, you're still in it.
All right, got to be in it to win it. Chimp says we got to go. So, hey, Chimp, nice to see you in the background there. Tony Locantro from Alto Capital, always great to have you on the program. Thanks so much for chatting to me on Making Money Matter.
Thanks, Kerry. I'll see you soon.